Hey, want to see a $10 million sentence? This is it. And the reason it costs a defendant so much is one tiny missing part, the Oxford comma. Partisans use this case to declare victory in the war over this tiny little comma, but while it has fans in America, around the world the Oxford comma is unused, endangered, and unloved.
So if you've somehow stumbled upon this piece without being a punctuation nerd,
Welcome to the punctuation party. Wait till you hear about the Oxford semicolon. It's a real thing.
this is the Oxford comma, Harvard comma, or the serial comma. It's the last comma used before the final entry in a list of 3 or more things, and it's serious business. So serious, in fact, that a court case between Maine truck drivers and a dairy farm hinged on it, with a judge ruling that the lack of a simple Oxford comma made the state's overtime exemption statute unclear. The truckers argue that this empty, comma-less space right here mashes up packing for shipment or distribution into one activity, exempt from overtime. But since truckers never packed anything, they just distributed, well, that's a lot of overtime pay. And this case captures the argument of Oxford comma supporters, which includes 43 states, Congress, nearly every federal agency we could find, and the Chicago Manual of Style, used by book publishers and magazines. The Oxford comma can add clarity.
There's one classic example that people use to explain this. Imagine I'm writing a book dedication. Thanks to my parents, a dairy farmer and a trucker.
You can see the issue pretty quickly. Without that extra comma, our minds automatically add a bracketed who are. It certainly changes your mental picture.
But there are valid anti-Oxford comma arguments. It can be redundant. Commas are just replacements for conjunctions like and. So blue, green, and yellow? What?
So 7 state governments, including Maine, don't use the Oxford comma. Neither does the Navy or the Air Force, or importantly, the AP Style Guide, meaning that the way we consume news is typically without ever seeing an Oxford comma. And the rest of the English-speaking world doesn't use Oxford commas either. In fact, even some departments of Oxford University itself don't mandate its use anymore. And when you add other world languages to the mix, it gets even worse for Oxford comma supporters. The approximately 184 million Americans that use it are dwarfed by the at least 1.18 billion people around the world that don't.
But as a proud American, one without $10 million to lose in court, I hereby declare that I will always use the Oxford comma. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.